What's up, guys? Welcome to the Lawrence Likes Hoop NBA show. I'm your host, Lawrence, and today I want to talk about a team that I'm very excited for, a team that I believe has a very bright future in this league and has an underrated young core. I mean, usually when we talk about young cores, the conversation is usually surrounded by the Pistons, who have Kate Cunningham, and the newly drafted Jaden Ivey, OKC, who has Shea Gilgeous, Chet Holmgren, and the million other draft picks they have, Orlando, who just got Paolo Banchero, Cole Anthony, and Franz Wagner. You got Cleveland, who has Darius Garland, and on and on. We have all these young cores. I believe a team that's not talked about as much, that should deserve more attention, is the Indiana Pacers. This team, this young core at least, they consist of Tyrese Haliburton, Chris Duarte, Bennedict Mathurin, Jalen Smith. And they also have a good mix of vets with Buddy Hield, and you also have Myles Turner, who is in the middle of that. He's relatively young still. He's at 26 years old. But I believe Indiana could surprise a lot of NBA fans and could honestly make a playing appearance this year. And they could really be a real threat for years to come. If they're not making the play-in, I believe in 2 years they're going to be a real threat. And it's going to be very exciting to see. In the middle of it, we have Tyrese Haliburton, player who was traded by the Kings. For me at least, and I think most of NBA fans, they were surprised with this trade. Tyrese, we all thought that he was in the long-term plans for the Kings. He vocalized how much he wanted to get the Kings to the playoffs for the first time in how many years it's been. But yeah, when he got traded for Domantas Sabonis, I was, as surprised as I was excited, to finally see Tyrese and De'Aaron Fox go in different directions. They're both great players, but they're both primary ball handlers, primary playmakers who need the ball in their hands. And with Tyrese Haliburton, as a King, he averaged 14.3 points and 7.4 assists. But once he was traded with the Pacers, his stats were 17.5 points, 9.6 assists, and he shot 41% from three. And this was exciting to see, as that primary ball handler, as the main guy in this team. His assists went up. As a total assist, he earned the 7th spot in the league for average assists. But when you put him as just a pacer, I think stat-wise, I could be wrong, but I think he was top 3 with the 9.6 assists I mentioned earlier. He was also close to 50, 40, 90 as a pacer last year. So just seeing that growth, seeing him being that primary ball handler, Tyrese is finally molding into the all-star player he can potentially be. 2023 as an all-star for Tyrese is not that far-fetched. I believe it could happen. So yeah, I'm excited to see how Tyrese grows, and especially with this Pacer team, it just speeds up the rebuilding process having a high IQ, talented playmaker like Tyrese. You just have to surround them with the right players, and I believe they do. They're just young. So the next player that I mentioned earlier that I want to talk about now is Jalen Smith. This is the former lottery pick by the Suns. He was acquired by the Pacers through a trade for Torrey Craig and a 2nd-round pick. In his 22 games last year as a Pacer, he averaged 13.4 points, 7.6 rebounds, while also shooting 37.3% from 3. Those are good numbers. I mean, that is solid numbers that you want to see from Jalen Smith. He's also 6'10", and he can shoot the ball. I mean, that's the NBA big. He's Bam Adebayo special, but he's kind of in the mold of Bam, but he has a better shooting touch. He can shoot the ball. He has that switchability, and as we've seen in the playoffs, how important, having those bigs who can shoot the ball, who can be a threat outside, and having those bigs who can switch on to smaller guards, he'll make a big impact once they make the playoffs. For example, we see Rudy Gobert. With all due respect, he's a great player. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a 3-time defensive player of the year. But you can make the argument that, he was played out the floor. Every year he was in the playoffs, just those elite guards looking for him, trying to get him to switch on to him, getting him outside, and then just attacking him. With Jalen Smith, he just provides that switchability that's very important for a big. He just signed a 3-year, $15 million deal with a player option on the last year. That's a very, very team-friendly deal. As we see Jalen Smith improve, as we see him become more comfortable in his role, he's going to definitely play. He's going to play better than what his contract says. And then next, we got Chris Duarte, the 28-year-old rookie last year. No, I'm just playing. He's only 24, I believe. But yeah, just a veteran, or not a veteran, but he was an older rookie last year. He averaged 13.1 points on 53.7% true shooting. That's under the average of true shooting. Usually true shooting, I believe the average is like 56%. But I mean, as we've seen with scores, it takes a minute it takes a minute for them to adjust. As they gain more experience, I believe he'll be more efficient. He's a 3-level scorer. He has some deep book in his game. He has some Zach LaVine in his game. He has the jab. He has the shot. He has the mid-range. He's definitely going to be a good starter in this league. I can see him as a two-way player. Defense is still something that he can improve on. I believe he's honestly maybe below average, but as he continues to improve, he's 6'6", so he can definitely improve and become the two-way player that the Pacers need. And then next we got Bennedict Mathurin, which is an exciting player. We seen him at Arizona last year. He's a slasher. He shows shades of Jalen Brown, Victor Oladipo when he was in Indiana. He can get to his shot. He's athletic. But as a floor, he can be a good 3-and-D player, or he can become that all-star player like Jalen Brown is, or Victor Oladipo was. He has the physical tools to get it done. On defense, he's 6'7", I believe, with a 6'9" wingspan. So just that 3-and-D, he can guard in the perimeter. I believe he's going to prove himself as one of the better perimeter defenders in this league as years go by. He's picked 6th. Some people thought he was picked too high. Some people thought he was picked too low. I thought he's picked the right spot. He's another guy that the Pacers can fill in over there in the wing. He shot 37% last year at Arizona. He shot 42% from the year before, so definitely there's potential, but he can definitely get to the rim and be a slasher. And then next we got Myles Turner. He's 26 years old, so he's relatively young still. He's one of the elite rim protectors in this league. We've seen that year in and year out. The only thing that's wrong is just he has to stay healthy. Last year he averaged 2.8 blocks last season. The year before that he averaged 3.4 blocks. Those numbers would have led the league in blocks. He just wasn't eligible because he didn't play enough games. So he's always going to be that elite rim protector. And if the Pacers stick with him, he'll be that guy for them, the guy in the paint for them. He's also a pick and pop player. He can shoot the 3, but more so we know him for his elite rim protection and just how important that can be. It's gonna continue to bring this team to different levels. And Myles Turner, the only thing we need from you is to be healthy. We want to see you healthy, man. We want to see you play at least 60, 70 games. And next, we got Buddy Hield, one of the best premier shooters in this league. He's in a lot of trade talks, so at the least, Buddy Hield will be in a trade package, and Indiana can receive probably a first-round pick or a good young player. But we talk about Buddy Hield right now and what he can do for this team. He can just provide that, that spacing, another threat on the outside. I believe he averaged 18 points this year. He's always shooting 35 to 40% from 3, so he just provides that threat. So Buddy Hield, he's just going to provide that space for Tyrese to operate. Tyrese is always going to look for him. If he proves to just be if he is in the long-term plans for the Pacers, what he can do, because I also want to see him in a winning situation. And this year, hopefully they can make at least a play-in tournament. We can see Buddy Hield in the playoff situation. Another player that they have is Isaiah Jackson. I like Isaiah Jackson, man. I did not watch much of him last year, but I did watch the highlights. And what can I say?
His first basket. And now Jackson pounds it down.
He had some ferocious dunks. He's a rim protector as well. I believe he can turn into another player of that mold that can pick and pop. As years go on, he's going to be more confident with his 3. He's going to be able to shoot the ball. But yeah, he just has to shoot it and just get the attempts up. But yeah, I believe he can be a player who can space the floor for them as well. But right now, just that young backup big, assuming that Myles Turner is going to be healthy for the year, Isaiah Jackson is going to be a very tough, a very solid backup big for them. This is a team that can be a very good defensive team, at least on the down low. They got perimeter defense with Bennedict Mathurin. It's just Tyrese and Chris Duarte have to hold their own, and Buddy Hield. But yeah, this team could be a good defensive team. But yeah, that's just what I have. I'm excited to watch Indiana. I'm gonna follow them this year for sure. I want to be the #1 source for Indiana Pacers news, man. So I'm definitely gonna be tuned in to most of their games. I'm aiming for at least 80% of their games. They're my league pass team, so I definitely can see them as a threat in the years to come, like I said before. But Indiana Pacers, they have the young core to get it done. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this team. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please leave a like, subscribe, and I will be coming to you guys soon with more NBA content. This is the newest NBA Pacer fan, your number one resource for Pacer news. So yeah, see you guys in the next one.